Good day, everyone. If you can see me or hear me, it's not by mistake. You're with us. You're with us in the city of audio. This is Audio Police, just like Metropolis. This is Audio Police, where everything that has to do with audio, we talk about your questions, your concerns. For every musician out there, sound engineers, music producers, pastors, whatever you're doing that has to do with audio or music or sound, I think um, this is the right show for you to listen to us. Today you're on Audio Police, and it's my pleasure to welcome you on Digits 1024 Radio, your refreshing radio. Of course, you can join us on all our social media platforms at Digits 1024. You can call us, you can WhatsApp us, you can comment on these various platforms. I am on Facebook Live. Of course, if you can just go right on our page at Digit Sound or at Digits 1024. You'll be live with me. I'll be glad to receive your comments. I'll be glad to receive your queries, whatever you think you think we need to know, you want to share with us on this show. We'll be very glad to be with you. All right, so I'm not alone. Of course, I'm here with one of the Audio Police audio gang, by the way. So let my co-engineer introduce himself.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Benjamin Omiri. I'm very glad to be on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. So we'll be your audio gang today, and as usual, we are going to be dealing with some topics that I think will benefit everyone of you that is listening to me. Of course, last week we talked about your ears and the audio world. Your ears being the most important tool as an audio engineer or as a sound producer. I mean, whatever you're doing with sound, we talked about how important your ears were to your craft, and I guess some of us have already started doing some checks. By the way, I said last week that everyone that has anything to do with audio should actually do a hearing test. I'm not sure how many people did it. I wanted to know how low you hear and how high you hear. Can you hear 80 hertz? Can you hear 16 kilohertz? I, for one, I mean, I'm not sure I hear anything beyond 14 kilohertz. Getting a little old. Ben, how high can you hear?
Well, I think to an extent my own can still go up to like 16.
16. Fantastic. That you can even hear up to 16 kilohertz. That is fantastic. I cannot for me, I think I would let that pass. But of course, if you can hear any frequency higher than that, please holler at us. Well, today we will be dealing with a very interesting topic. Today is about red zone. Red zone. You know how the color red is important, today. So the color red is not just important for Valentine, supposedly Lovers Day. It's not just in audio. Color red, code red zone is a serious matter. Don't just in audio world, we don't want to be seeing red anyhow. In fact, for some guys, that's why we wear black. When you wear red, it's something. There's just something wrong somewhere. So we want to discuss about the red zone. What does red zone mean to you in the world of audio? I see that many people just seem to like seeing red all the time. What do you? Well, I mean, I'm sure Ben is going to I mean, that explain to us and give us a little background on what this red zone really mean. And of course, before I allow Ben to speak. Please, if you don't have our app, please download it. Uh, Ensure that you have every opportunity to listen to us. I mean, on all our social media platforms. And like I said, you can also reach us through our number 08098881024. It promises to be a very refreshing time today. So Red Zone, shoot.
Um, Actually, red zone on our mixing console, or how do I mixing decks as an audio engineer or music producer, I will call it a no-go area, or the kind of, because normally red is a symbol of danger, telling us that that particular zone is capable of destroying whatsoever you are doing. So red zone in our audio world is no go area where you need
No go
to
area.
avoid in order not to. It's just like squashing whatsoever you are. We call it a it's almost close to a point of distortion, whereby your audio waveform is squash. You don't get a clean or clear sound anymore. So red zone is a place whereby you are. It's just like when you are going on the road and your signal. I mean the road light show you red. What it's telling you is that you should stop and hold on until you come back to normal green light. So that is what red zone is all about.
All right, so you understand what you're still catching the gist what this red is all about. So not just about Valentine, and all that. Not red love thing. Red no go area. What does red mean to you? If you're watching me and you have anything to do with audio, maybe you are a mixing engineer. You have a studio, you are a musician. I mean, whatever you are, you are using some device where you see red. You just discover that there are some colors. What do you see on the devices that you use? You will see a color like green. Yeah.
See like orange.
You see like orange
or amber.
Yeah. And then you see
red.
You see red. Exactly. So what does green mean to you? What does amber mean to you? And what does red mean to you? Something close to the traffic light, you may say. And that's what we're talking about. What does red mean to you? I think number one, apart from the fact that no go zone, I mean, how did you say it, Ben?
It's a no go area.
No go area. Exactly. No go area. When you see red, it means that no go area. I mean, what that means for my international listeners is that don't go there. That's a place that you should not touch often. I think number two, I'm going to tell you what red means in the world of audio around. Number two, red means danger. Danger. No go area. Yeah. That's danger. I mean, whenever you see somebody, a crime scene or an accident scene or a construction site, and they put some sort of safety tape around it, it's always red. It's always red. It means danger. It means you should not go where high voltage danger.
Yeah.
So the same thing. How can you as an engineer see red and you just want to always go there? You just want to always crank up your system to red. You just want to always see that red. I make bold to say that if on your board or your audio device you are having red all the time, what does it say, Ben?
It's telling you that you are just producing noise.
Noise. That's another word for red. Whenever you are seeing red all the time, it's almost synonymous to noise.
Yeah.
Noise. And I'm sure that as I'm even talking now, I'm sure that my producers are actually like, when they see red, they begin to adjust. They are just you are
They
just
are running away from danger
you
zone.
must run away from the danger zone. It's a law that you must keep in your if you want your music clean, your mix clean, try to stay away from
Danger.
red. Try to stay away from danger zone. Another word for red is overload. In fact, you will see OL. I'm sure you always see some sort of that overload
On
on
some
maybe a
mixer.
power device.
Even in
Uh,
some
in,
console.
in some consoles,
console.
you will see overload. Some power amplifiers, you will see overload.
Or clipping.
When you drive your amplifiers, your devices to a point where they are not meant to power, they show the red color, overload. And this topic is essential today because I mean people just think that the red color is just there for the fun of it. You'll be shocked that some people still think that until they see red, then
They are not
they are
your
not
work.
there. I mean the music is not loud or their sound is not loud. Another word for red is distortion. We've already talked about that.
Yes.
You know, distortion is tantamount to clipping. You use the word
Or
distortion.
squashing of your audio form.
Yeah, exactly, because the audio waves is always in a curved manner. It is now square. It's now straight
So,
on top of the waves. That's what it causes. And once that begins to happen, especially to your devices, to your speakers, you're already driving your equipment to a point of to be blown. And that's why you discover that a lot of people experience blown speakers. It's because there is too much red in your mix. Too much red in your mix. Another word that we can safely say about the red zone is peak. Don't ever drive your signals to peak. Yes, the manufacturers have volumes to peak. Um, like on your amplifiers, what do you think, Ben? Is the highest dB?
yeah.
Probably in a 20 dB or what?
There's any level that is beyond your nominal level, which is like unity gain,
Yeah.
as they used to
The
indicate.
unity's gain is like 0 dB.
Your unity gain is 0 dB.
So you have 3 dB, 6 dB.
6 dB, and then after your unity gain, then they give you like headroom whereby you can still drive to it, and you're just like a safe mode whereby you, when you get there, you're not meant to remain there. It's just like you can jump into it and then come out. But while you are now begin to stay there, now reach after leaving um your unity gain, I mean you get to your saver mode, then going to the point of distortion. That is where you begin to, sometimes you begin to see the red begin to turn into fire.
Exactly. Have you ever seen your speakers blown, as in raw fire? I'm sure that some people listening to me now must have experienced raw fire. I can see comments from Adenike saying that his own definition of red is actually shows blood, which gives life. Anyway, exactly. But red in audio doesn't get life. It gives fire.
Fire.
In audio world, in this audio city, you don't want to be seeing red in the city. Once you see too much red, it can lead to fire.
Fire.
Of course, when we are still going to deal with how to deal with this red. How do you get this red away from red and bring it down? We'll go on a short break not too long from now. But I just want you to please keep your comments coming. Give us the experience you have had with this red zone and what it has done to you as a music producer or a sound engineer. I would like sound engineers to ask us questions. Tell us about these red zones and how we can really deal with it. You're still on your refreshing radio, digit 1024. We'll be right back. Just don't touch that button.
Would you like your event to sound like this? Or like. Then you're just one call away. Hook up with Digit Sound Solutions for your indoor and outdoor events. With professional sound engineers, the best of equipment, your dream event is sure to come alive. For more inquiries, call 0809 573 3330. Digits, live sound at its best.
And you are on to Audio Police, the city of audio. It's our way of educating and giving value to you for those who make use of audio in their daily living. You hear, you use, you use the mic, you use the speakers, you operate the mixer, you produce music. Whatever you do that has to do with audio, we are here to help you and deal with topics that can guide you in your use of live audio. I see you, Deborah. Thank you for joining in. Emmanuel Alabi, thank you for joining in. And Dominic, thank you for joining in. Dominic has asked, he said, what about the digital mixer? What is the normal gain level? Is it 18 or is it minus 18 or minus 12 dB? You want to answer that question? Anything minus is still be really below unity gain. I think you are very still safe on anything that has to do with that level of SPL. I think you're very still safe on it. Before we wrap up, because we have little, in this audio, in this city of audio, time is not always our friend. It's moving in sound waves.
Very fast.
Very fast
Very
in sound
high
waves.
frequency.
So of course we won't leave you until we talk about the various ways you can avoid these red zones. How do you clean up these red zones? How do you avoid clips? How do you ensure that your music is not getting to danger zone? How do you avoid distortions? How do you avoid clips, peaks in your amplifiers? Because you see this red zone, this red color with almost every audio device that you use. The manufacturers are very deliberate about it. When you see the red color, it means don't go to this point. You can touch it a little while, but you should never crank up your system or crank up your volume or amplifier to the point where they distort. So for me, one of the ways to avoid clips is to use less gain. In some devices, they call it the gain knob. Some call it trim
or sensitivity.
or sensitivity. It's not volume. It is not volume. One of the things that affect the red going up is not actually the volume control or the faders on your mixers. It's actually the gain knob. The gain knob. When you look at this, you will see it. This gain knob or the mixer. I mean the mixer here. I'm not sure whether our viewers can or our listeners can see this, but when you look at this, you are seeing that even the first knob, the color is red. Red. Most often, when they want to show you that that's not a place where you should be touching all the time. When you want to reduce red, then don't. Let's gain. Just gain down, and then probably turn up your volume. Your fader knobs. Your fader knobs are your level control. That the fact that you are turning up your fader does not necessarily mean that you are gaining up. Okay, I'm sure that in our next as our episodes come, we'll begin to talk about things like gain structure, unity gain, like Ben has said. But I think that one of the sure ways you can reduce peaks when you begin to see red is to
drop the gain.
Just drop the gain. Drop the gain. Number 2, Ben.
Like my boss in the house has just said, when your gain is too high, your gain control what is coming into your mixing board or whatever audio gear that you have, while your fader control what is going out from your device. When what is coming in is too much, then what is going out will not be controlled. But when it is averagely moderate, then you'll be able to be within the nominal level, whereby you'll be able to play your music as loud as possible. And at the same time, for you, our listener, to get this done perfectly, it is better you, if you are an audio engineer, maybe in a church, or maybe you are in a show or whatever, or music producer, it is better that your output, which is your loudspeaker and your amplifier, they are loud enough to handle the kind of sound pressure level that you want to achieve. So with small volume from your mixer, you'll be able to get enough sound pressure level that you desire, and with that it help you to drive very low on your mixer and get maximum output from
Absolutely.
your speaker.
Absolutely.
So that's another way to go.
Yes, Emmanuel yeah, agrees with you. Yeah, totally. He said, for me, live mix shouldn't get to the level of red zone. If we obey the law of input and output properly, I agree with you. For me, one mistake most sound engineers arrogantly make is that their inputs are always higher than the output. And that's absolutely correct. One of the things you want to do is to allow your output have enough power for your output, so that
Yes.
a little gain with some sort of volume with it already gives enough loudness for whoever is using it to hear. Secondly, of course, sometimes engineers meet themselves in some situations where they cannot help, or maybe you just found a system that is already in hot signal. Every channels is red, 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 red. Some of the things you can apply, especially probably you are faced with some faulty amplifiers, or
Weak.
amplifier, or
Or
a
that
weak
is not strong
weak
enough.
amplifier or something. Apply limiters. What does limiter do? Today will not be the day to explain that to you, but what, as the name implies, you can, whatever is coming in, you can you can
to a
limit it. You
particular
can
level.
say, okay, no matter how anyone is screaming or the signal is,
Want to go.
it shouldn't get past. You set a limiter, you set a threshold. It said this signal should not get past this level. I mean, that's a way of protecting your device also. Another mistake some engineers make is that we are always in a hurry. We always give in to the fact that the musicians are not hearing themselves. We can't hear ourselves. We can't hear ourselves. One of the things I think we should always do is a proper time for sound
Sound check.
checks. Proper time for sound checks. I don't. In fact, if I can increase the volume of what I've just said, I can. This one I can put gain on it and make it red. Do proper, have time for sound checks. Usually when you don't have the proper time for sound checks, you will discover that you will not be able to monitor each input. You will not be able to set the gain for each input, and then it will clop up so many things, and then by the time you calculate plenty, you said green and amber. By the time you put plenty ambers together, they just begin
to
they just begin to
to
pull up to red. All right, okay. Before we go, we'll still give you. Let me just give you two more reasons or ways of avoiding clips. Always ensure that you have adequate power.
yes.
It is very important to have adequate power for your devices and the things that you're using, especially the power amplifiers. If your power is not right, maybe the frequency at which you are picking it, the current, the amperage,
Or the voltage is
or
not
the voltage
enough.
is not enough or clean enough, it can result to red. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you are really trying to control the red, but the red won't go away, check. The power is not enough. When the power is not enough, or even more than enough, it can surely give you the red color. Ensure that you have adequate power. Always ensure that the power that you are giving to your equipment has a little headroom above what you're using. So if you calculate all your power, that you don't need more than 4,000 watts. The kind of power you should be like 6,000 watts. Have headroom so that when those clip periods come, it can be able to handle it very well. Good sound is directly proportional to good power. If you don't have good power, you're not going to have good audio. And of course, the last on my list today is also to avoid clips. Ensure you are rightly matching your amplifier with your speakers. Very important. Use the right amplifier. Use the right amplification. If you don't do that, you are going to be either giving the power amps more work to do and less work for the speakers, or vice versa. And then all these things, they don't really understand themselves. You begin to have red on your devices. Because I have a mixer on me today. As I begin to, I've cranked the volume up, and I'm sure you can see red on top of this thing. Plenty reds. Your meter shouldn't be like this. Okay. So Ben, last words for this our red community, because after now we don't want to start seeing red. Last words, please.
To our viewer and our listener in the house, red, like we have been told, is a no-go area, is a danger zone, so it's a place to avoid. So with all the strategy that we have put in place, we should try as much. If we need to add up to maybe the amplifier or the speakers, or even the kind of microphone or whatever that we're using, in order to give us the quality we are looking, or the kind of sound pressure we are looking for, in order to minimize and to reduce this red zone, for us to get the quality audio, I think we should adopt it. Thank you very much.
Exactly. It's been a very wonderful time on the show today. Audio Police, your city of audio. And I hope that we have done a little justice by helping everyone that has to do with audio on how to handle your devices. If you avoid the red zone, you save more money. You have cleaner sound, cleaner production for the studio engineers. You have less once you have a distorted recording, you know how difficult it is to even handle it in the post-production or post-mix. Even those who do cinematography, videography, once you see red, you know that it won't be good. So it's our advice, and I hope that with this few insights we have given to you, when next you are tweaking that board, editing your audio, you just want to be sure that this inputs and these things are not in the red zone. Avoid the red zone. It's been a worthwhile time for those who are listening to us, and for those who are watching us. Please, we'll be glad to receive your comments, your questions. We would reply. We would answer every of your questions that you send to us. Don't forget to follow us on all our platforms, Digits 1024. This program, Audio Police, is powered by Digit Sound, live sound at its best. Of course, we have everything that you will need for you to get good sound, and whenever you need it. In this on this our radio station, we say a positive mindset is all that we need for a better society. Think positive, speak positive, and remain optimistic to refresh Nigeria. So don't forget, please join us on all our social media platforms. Download our app from the Google Play Store. You could listen also to us from Digits, www.digits1024radio.com. It will be good to hear from you.